welcome to the stream. This is Anya and Ellie today. Hi. And we had a hell of an intro.
It is. So good to be here. Like I watch this every single time because I'm usually the one like moderating chat and just like helping in the background. And this time was like, oh, this is what everything is looking like. It's so cool to be here.
It's so good to have you here. So today we are talking about Restream Support, and we have a very special guest. It's Ellie. She's head of support at Restream. And today we'll be answering all kinds of questions about Restream products, features, offerings, and also what dedicated and premium support can do for our enterprise customers. And of course, we would like to hear from you. So this is your Ask Us Anything session. So whatever you would like to bring, maybe you want to tell a story about how you interacted with support, maybe have a question that you always wanted to ask, anything about how our support 24/7 support works. Today we are here to cover all of that. So please drop your questions in the chat for Ellie, for me, for anything Restream related. And let's dive in. Let's see, first of all, who is checking in the chat. By the way, you can also let us know where you're watching from, where in the world.
The regular question, every single time. We're always interested to know that.
Yeah, we always want to know where you guys are checking in from, as well as what kind of content are you streaming or anything else that you'd like to share. And yeah, so let's see. Let's look at the folks at the chat if we have anything interesting going on in there. I see. Oh, there's a lot of like emojis that are not necessarily.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I get the essence of it.
Yeah. So we have a few people letting us know that they are in Austin. Hi, Sean. Good to see you here. That's awesome. We have hello from Bulgaria.
Max.
That's Max. I'm pretty sure it's Max.
Yes, should be Max.
It's our Max.
We
love you. Thank
we
you
always
so
get
much.
some in-house support. It always feels great. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, definitely let us know if you have any questions about Restream support.
Yep.
But we will, as people are checking in and sharing where they're watching from and preparing their questions, we will again introduce Ellie. So you are head of support and you are in charge of our 24/7 customer care through live chat that happens around clock, all days, pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
Holidays, weekends, and we also are one of very few tech companies who can proudly say that our support responds within 1 minute, right? Like that's
our goal response time is always like 1 minute and 30 seconds, and usually our average is like 1 minute and a very few seconds. So it's always like very, very there. If you're asking something, someone is going to be with you very, very soon.
Yeah, that's definitely something to be proud of. And I'm seeing a few more comments in the chat, so I'm just gonna acknowledge folks who are taking the time to share where they're watching from. I see Steven is watching from Texas. Hi, Steven. Good to see you. I can see there is Glenn who is checking in from Canada.
Hello, Canada.
I love that. That's really awesome. And there's already a request from Willow Gaming. Hey, please add movable text box. Okay. We will actually share a few options how you can share your feature requests with us throughout the stream a few times. I see a cold Tallinn check-in.
That's another
awesome.
Office location for us.
Yeah,
Good
we
to
actually
hear.
do have people in Tallinn, so that's awesome.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much. All right, so let's dive into it. So first of all, just so you get to know the people behind Restream, Ellie, can you tell us a little bit about your journey at Restream? How did you join the company?
Yes.
And what was it like?
I joined Restream in summer of 2021, so it's been 4 years and something at this point. And at the time, you guys were looking for customer support reps in Europe, so like European time zone coverage, and that's what came in for at the time. So the first year I was pretty much full on chats. So if any of you guys watching have been here as far back, we may have even like spoken together on a chat. I may have helped you out at one point. And then after that, I slowly went into more knowledge management stuff in the company. So a lot of internal education, user education. We worked on onboarding new teammates, training, a lot of that stuff. And going on after that, there was also a point in time when I transitioned into content marketing and I worked with Anya, which was a very great time. Last year, approximately, I think, was it?
Yeah, it was about a year between last spring and
Yeah. And we were working on a few bigger projects like the help center revamp, a lot of content like you're reading about sometimes. You might have seen my name in there. And then early last year, I had the opportunity to step back into support as head of support. So this is where I am now. We're a pretty big team. And like Anya said, we're 24/7. A lot of nitty-gritty details go into how we operate, but 100% we're mostly there for you and to support you. So it's great to be able to talk about support on a live stream.
It's quite a fascinating journey, right? Like, so to sum it up, you started in the chats as
Yes.
one of the support reps just 4 or 5 years ago, and slowly transitioned into the leader of that team. I know also Ellie is one of the youngest leaders, one of the youngest directors in our whole company, and also she is leading one of the biggest teams. I only think the engineering team is slightly larger when it comes to headcount.
Our biggest teams are engineering and support, and I think it goes to show how much emphasis we place into how we're supporting creators, because you have support in the front lines and you very often have engineering in the back as well, because a lot of our cooperation internally happens with engineering. Like, you have an issue, if we're not able to troubleshoot it and figure it out in the chat, it has to get escalated internally. Engineering is the next ones in that kind of help us with that. So two of the biggest teams, obviously shipping, developing on the engineering side, but also supporting all of you guys with whatever comes up in your journey.
Yeah, I think it's a good kind of like mental map of the priorities, right? Like, so we're building, and then the next thing is supporting our customers and creators, and then it's kind of like this feedback loop. It's a two-way street, right? Like, whatever comes from our customers goes through support and customer success team and gets back into our engineering, so they can work on the features that your guys are requesting, fix whatever is not working, improve, and just continue to iterate and ship. So you guys have the best experience. For those who are new to Restream, by the way, we are currently using Restream Studio. This is our own product that allows you to go live from your browser and look professional without too much preparation. I would say we probably spent a few minutes only setting up yesterday and like a quick sound check today. So that's something you can do. Everything you see on the screen today, any kind of visuals, images, captions, comments that we highlight, you can do that too if you use Restream Studio. So check it out at restream.io/studio. That is how we stream. I saw a few questions in the chat. I do want to first, however, cover this question because to me it is personally absolutely fascinating. I run marketing team. We're not 24/7. I do feel like we do a lot of work, and we're trying very hard to make sure that all the features that we ship are clear to our customers. We help you to understand and fall in love with our products, but it's not as crazy intense as 24/7 support with under 1 minute and 30 seconds. So what is the hardest part about running such an ongoing, never-ending, non-stop operations?
And the important thing for us always is to, as much as possible, balance efficiency and speed with quality for you guys. Because it's one thing to get an answer in like a few seconds, but if it's not a good enough answer, it's still not going to be the greatest experience. So we're always very focused on how can we be quick, how can we be hands-on with your needs, but also give you good quality support. And that a lot of customer support education goes into that, a lot of understanding product updates, testing, and making sure internally we do our follow-ups to make sure that whatever tickets we have, whatever chats we have, they're treated in the best manner possible. So that's the one big thing, because at the same time, you also don't want to take too long to just then give a good answer to someone who's in a very urgent position right now and just trying to get through a stream. And that happens with a lot of like building a good team behind all of that, because you will have new additions, you will have new people onboarding. You want to get them to the level that creators need them to be at. And 24/7, at least there's other people around, coverage, you have questions, we can help you out in whatever way possible, but our goal is just make it good support and timely support.
Yeah, those are really, really good pointers. Yeah, 24/7 and quick with best quality possible. This is quite a challenge, but let us know if you had any experience with support, and if you feel like you got good answers, and if you feel like there's something that you would like to share as a feedback, so we could continue improving, because we love to listen to our creators and act on that. We are seeing some comments that were a little low. We did have a little bit of that kind of like issue today. For some reason, the microphone is not really picking us up. Maybe it's because it's unusual setup for us. The two of us in the room, usually it's just me. And usually we have headphones, and today it's just speakers. So hopefully, maybe you can increase the volume a little bit on your devices to help us out. But yeah, we'll try to speak up and get a little more intimate with our microphone. A few questions from the chat. I see Glenn from Canada is asking, been trying for days to figure out how to work a Restream with OBS. So we do have quite a bit of guides on that. It's actually super, super simple. I do not know if maybe Charles can drop us a little visual into how simple it is to connect your OBS to Restream. So here we go. So this is our video guide for that. Let me drop it. So this is actually, I also see that Glenn is mentioning that you would prefer to see a video versus just an article. So this guide shows you exactly how to do it. There are a few ways how to connect, but probably the easiest is to go to your OBS, and then in the settings you will select Restream. That will prompt you to log in since you already have an account, as I can see. Select the channels, and then you can go live. So definitely check out this guide in our help center, watch that video, and let us know if it helped, if it worked out. And I also see that our moderators in the YouTube chat are sending you the links, so you can just simply click them. And if you're still a little stuck, not to worry, 24/7 live support starts with the help button in the bottom right corner, and
you can already see it right there, you can already on this page, but pretty much any page when you're on the website, help center, wherever, bottom right is where you want to look at. There's going to be some form of help button, and if you click it, you can speak to support 24/7.
And those are, by the way, real humans who are not necessarily just people working the chats, right? A lot of them are creators themselves. A lot of them are very technical and streaming technicians, basically. So they can actually take pretty complicated technical questions, and they can definitely help you with this simple setup. Awesome. So Glenn says, oh, thanks. I went through the whole setup and 7 days later, not getting it. Interesting. Yeah, in that case, I definitely recommend the chat, because then you will have a person in the chat with you who can walk you through every single step, and they can also help you to share your screen, maybe to like show some screenshots, and then basically point you at exact buttons. It sounds complicated because you basically, you have to connect through OBS and you have to connect channels. But once you do it, it's actually set like one and done, right? Like once you set it, you can always use it.
Yep, there's a pretty good integration with OBS and with a lot of streaming software. So for many of those items, the easy thing is you log in and you're good. Like you're set up with the integration. You don't have to take multiple steps to connect every single time. So probably you're gonna be able to just do it once. With our help, we'll be happy to help with all of that. And yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for reaching out to support.
Yeah, you can send us an email too if that's preferred, but the best and the easiest way to connect with us is that help button, because that's live, that's interactive, that's real time.
Still though, email. In under an hour, once again, you're gonna get a response. Email is like second level priority in comparison to live chat for obvious reasons, but at the same time, within 1 hour, you're gonna have a response. We're gonna maintain the thread with you, so feel free to go back and forth. I know some people prefer email threads just to have information in a more organized way in their email, in their inbox somewhere. So if you prefer that, by all means, please reach out. We'll be happy to help through email as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I actually didn't know that it's also under 1 hour.
Yeah, email too. It's just like it's lower priority than chat, because chat usually you might be reaching out in a more urgent situation. Maybe you're preferring a live stream, or you are live and you're having issues. So we have a much faster response for that. But for email, which is a bit more async for some people, we also do respond pretty quickly as well.
That's really cool. Awesome. A few more cool questions here. I see that Not Phil Slash says, please add YouTube alerts to the chat panel if you can. That is a great request. I know you have probably requested that before, but I will still point you to ideas.restream.io. This is where we get the requests for all features that are not yet at Restream. Yeah. We do prioritize them based on how many people submitted or upvoted those features. Our product team, our marketing team, and our support team looks there daily. So we constantly look at the things that you guys are submitting and prioritizing based on the number of votes. So the best way to get the attention of our product team is to keep upvoting, keep submitting, and bringing it up, because if it is important to a good number of our creators, chances are we will get to it and make it happen. But yeah, thanks for the suggestion. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, yeah, the YouTube alerts for for the chat panel to basically identify special chats, people who are donating, like all this like alerts when you really need to pay attention to that specific comment.
And I feel like you might see this a lot when we don't have something readily available for you and we'll tell you to submit a feature request. But I can tell you it's not in vain, because you will see when it comes to something that you actually submit and we're able to get to it, you're also going to get a very nice notification from a product team once it launches that says like, hey, we've launched this feature. We know that you were interested in it in the past. So you also get good timely notifications. So the more that you do on that end to make sure you're connected to that feature request, the more the faster we can get to you once we actually have it available. So
yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to share a little bit of love for support in here. I see Pamela York says support has been awesome. They are pretty patient. I really love that quality about folks in support. They are like, you have to be, right, in order to do that job. And to me, that's fascinating, because sometimes you have difficult conversations. Sometimes you have people who are stressed for obvious reasons, because it is very difficult to go live, and when something is not working, that creates a lot of anxiety. So it makes sense that people come in and sometimes they're not at their calmest and best. What are some things that you guys use to help people stay patient in terms of our internal team and de-escalate when people are anxious?
I think one thing that we do a lot, and that even in this setting, when we're doing actual live streams for the company or when we're testing internally, you always have to put yourself in the position of the customer, because me and Anya, we were prepping. We knew, for example, that audio was a bit low for some reason. We were anxious to get it right. So you are in that position to see that, another person may have that same concern. And it's really that we want you to succeed. There aren't like stupid questions. There aren't things that you can ask too many times. If we can help you feel confident that you're going to have a good stream, that you're all ready and set to go. Some people, they reach out to us weeks in advance of whatever they're planning, because they're planning a big event and they're going to set it up on YouTube, on LinkedIn. They want to make sure it's all there done correctly. And it's so much about the feeling of people in support, at least in our team. I cannot speak for everyone, but like for our team in support in Restream, there is truly so much empathy in there, because we are in your corner and we are on your side. We want you to be successful with a product. That's what it's there for. That's why it's built. So we always want to make sure that we have time to address every single question you might have. And sometimes you might do a chat with us, and at the end of it, we might ask you like, is there anything else I can help with? Well, you have me here. So whatever questions that you have, by all means, please share them at any point, anytime. We're always happy to help.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And so let's have a look at a few more questions here. This is exciting. I see Sean from LinkedIn is checking in. He says, this is solid info, looking to maneuver over to Restream for our broadcast in the next few months. I actually remember Sean, when we met, he was working at Bethesda, and we met in person at a few conventions. So very good to see you here. Thanks for checking in. And depending on what kind of live streams do you plan to use, Restream definitely went a long way since last time we spoke, which was years and years ago, pre-pandemic, when our most popular offering was still connection to OBS and just the multi-streaming aspect of it. Now we have the studio, we have clips, we have tools for podcasters like local recordings, and basically the ability to record your interviews or demos or any kind of product launches, and then edit them and then either schedule them to go as live or just simply use them as videos. So there's definitely a lot that we've built. So check it out and let us know if we can help. It's always really good to see you. I see Amanda is checking in. She's saying, "You'll sound great." So maybe our sound is not that bad in the end. No. Let us know in the chat. I also see there's a comment here. I really like Restream and use it all the time. This is all I use. This is beautiful.
So happy.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Let us know if this is something, if you use OBS integration or if you use Studio. It's always interesting for us to see like what kind of products or specific features of Restream are especially helpful.
And also one good thing to mention here, I know some people, they want to get into live streaming, and at first they're a bit lost. Like, what should I use? How should I set it up? So one big thing that we're also very happy to do when you reach out to support is if we can educate you in any way on your options. So the options available to you, really. So Are you a more tech-savvy person? You have a preferred software, we can help you set that up. Are you someone that wants something a bit more straightforward, or you want to be able to have guests on, so you need something as easy as Studio? We're always happy to chat about, okay, what is your use case? What is that you're trying to achieve? And what is the ideal part of our product that can help you get that done? So that's also a very big part of, if you're not sure and you don't know what your questions really are, we can also kind of like guide you through it, because we've seen a lot of use cases. We see tons of creators every single day. So we're happy to share also what we've seen work best for other customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I see James is showing us a little. Hey,
Hi, James.
Hi, James. I'm going to take this question, even though it's a little spicy, controversial, right? But we'll take it, because I think the idea about this stream is that we wanted to be very transparent and honest and open. We love to see your positive comments and your love, but we also want to make sure that we are not necessarily like filtering out anything that's not positive and praise. So I know Marco, not personally, but we have met virtually. He has a wonderful channel where he is showing musical instruments and guitars and guitar tutorials in Italian language.
Audio is important.
Yeah,
to Marco,
audio is
by all
important.
means.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I'm giving this context to understand like why he's asking this question. So he says he has some problems with audio glitches on YouTube only. Facebook is okay, to the point that he had to stop using Restream temporarily and use OBS. So what I'm seeing here, and I'm definitely going to let you chime in, because you probably see a lot more of that. When one platform is working and the other platform is not, to me, most of the time, this is a sign that something is off on the platform, right? Like, because if Restream is taking your stream and your audio is perfect on Facebook, but it's not perfect on YouTube, chances are there's some settings that you need to tweak, right? It might not necessarily be that YouTube is broken or there is a problem with the platform and it's YouTube's fault, but there is an opportunity to dive into the specific settings of your account and understand if there's something that you can simply change on your computer, on your settings in Studio, or somewhere else, maybe on your microphone, physical device, to help it out. Like, anything else that you'd add to this? Because yeah, we would love to make sure that it works for you, Marco.
If I'm understanding what Marco is describing and what may be happening to our stream as well, because now we're just seeing the preview, we can't know if, I hope there aren't any issues on YouTube, but if there are, apologies. One thing that we've seen a few times, and I can tell you engineering is already looking into and checking into it, we have seen a few cases of what you're describing. So YouTube specifically might be suffering, and thankfully we also have had engineering take a look into that. And we're also reaching out to the YouTube team to just figure out what's going on that end, in case there is something that they can help us that we're not seeing on our side just yet. So rest assured, it's something that whenever you report those issues, whenever we notice these trends and we see that something is larger scale and not very isolated, we always loop in engineering, and we'll absolutely do the best that we can to make sure this is addressed if it's something that's recurring for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So bottom line, definitely reach out to our support before you switch to new or different solutions, because there is a chance that it's either a bug that with your help we can fix for everybody, or there is a chance that you might be able to use some help in tweaking some things. I know you're super knowledgeable about audio, and it almost feels wrong to ask you to ask for support from us, but there might be some like really nuanced things that are just related to RTMP protocols or web browser-based streaming that we could help with, and we would love to do it for you. Thanks for your question. There are some more questions here. So this is a good one. Any plans for shared backstage notes panel? Something creators and producers could use to sync use without leaving the studio. I think this is a green room question.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Pretty much
getting to? So do you want to walk through some workarounds?
So one thing that we put together in a guide, I think it was a blog post that we did last year or so. Once we released our current setup of drafts and different stream setups that you can create, we created a guide and also a quick video on it on how you can use a different setup to use it as a green room only. And then you switch yourself and your guests into your actual studio setup. Full disclaimer, we know that may not be the ideal solution for everybody, because one thing that we've also had as feedback, I think internally, is, you know, we start our countdown, we want to be able to communicate with remote guests while the countdown is playing. So this is all feedback that we've fed into the studio team, and I believe that the true green room is something that it's in our backlog right now, and we're hoping to look into more in the future. But this specific Help Center article that you're seeing on screen right now, written by yours truly, is a very good option to see whether for your setup it's something that would work well enough for you right now. If you need something more than that, trust that we are looking into more options.
Yeah, I would add a few more new tools that we recently added to Studio that are not necessarily 100% the green room solution, but that are very helpful. One of them is that now you can have your co-producer in the role of hide camera, leave sound, which is one feature that we're using so extensively, even right now, even though Charles is being very silent. But in case he really needed to tell us something, he could actually talk to us. Right now, since we're live, this will be something that our viewers will also see if he starts talking.
That would be interesting.
That would be interesting. Maybe he'll chime in eventually. But yeah, so we also have private chat, which allows you to type and share some of the comments if it's something very short. Yeah, exactly how to create. So audio only streams is more of an opportunity to just stream without your camera. So you will just have an avatar. But hide camera and keep sound is more for co-producers so they could talk to the hosts. Private chat, great for short messages such as the stream is up, everything is good, you guys are sounding great, the light is too yellow, like these little things that you can fix by just reading. But we are working on a proper green room solution because it's definitely something that you would need. Last thing I want to call out is our placeholders. This is our brand new feature, and maybe Charles can drop in a little visual in here. But this is the opportunity to prepare your stream. So it's processing. Here we go, placeholders. So this is the opportunity to build your stream with your guests and other sources in mind. So for me, it has always been a big pain point because a lot of times the streams that I build out have some visuals, they will have videos and tutorials that I want to play. A lot of times they would have screen shares because somebody else who is remote is going to share and like walk through certain steps. And for me to create that stream without basically assigning a specific spot in the layout on my scene was always difficult because then people show up and they kind of mess out your layout and everything looks different from what you prepared. But yeah, the placeholders right now allow you up to 10 different kind of like designated spots that you can build, and that is perfect for guests. So this is a good add-on to the idea of, okay, I'm going to have 3 panelists, 2 will appear right away, the other will join later, and one of them will leave. So you can actually build out the scenes in such a way that you prepare those slots and people will fill them in. Yep. Again, not quite the green room, but something to give you a little bit of control as you build the stream, and then more kind of you see exactly what you will get on the live stream when your viewers start watching. So
and I think we're also sharing a lot of options right now, and I think the one good thing is if you want to chat with support and give them a bit more information about your specific setup, like how you plan to conduct your stream. Do you have remote guests? Do you have people on site? How's it going to work for you? If you give us a bit more information like that, we can always tell you, okay, we may have like 5 different features for this, but this is the one that might work best for you for your use case. So we're also very happy to do that when we understand a bit more about what is your setup rather than just give you general directions that may not work for some people. Yeah. So if you want to chat a bit more about that, feel free to reach out anytime.
Yeah, that would be great because sometimes the solution for your specific kind of use case can be not what we think or what you think the solution could be, right? Because we're all comparing tools with something else that we used in the past, right? But sometimes we see a lot of those use cases, right? We have over 10 million creators in our ecosystem of Restream right now. That's a huge number. So that's a lot of different use cases, and that's a lot of different things that we see. And a lot of times we can say, okay, so you're just trying to talk to your co-producer, right? So like maybe the best way to achieve that is just to have something, just like Slack on your phone while you are actually streaming. So those pro tips and like interesting workarounds is something that's also available at Restream Support for free for everybody. That's awesome. I do see a lot of awesome questions, and I will take this one from Michael from LinkedIn. If you're just getting started with a streaming setup, is Restream a good entry point? I would say yes. I mean, I can tell my story. I started streaming when right around 2019 / 2020 when the pandemic started.
You were early to the game.
Yeah, I was pretty early to the game compared to now, but also was pretty late to the game compared to people streaming on Twitch and YouTube for years and years before. I had no intention to understand or learn complex software like OBS because for me, like even opening that software was overwhelming. So when the studio product appeared, when we built our web browser studio, which basically works like Google Meets or Zoom, and that allows you to create professional and good-looking videos directly from your browser, for me, that was the game changer. Like, I was able to start interviewing people. I was able to start running demos and Q&A sessions like this one with zero expertise and video editing or any kind of experience. Of course, fast forward to 2025, 5 years in, hundreds and hundreds of streams that I hosted, I'm a little bit more knowledgeable and a little bit more capable of doing like more technical things. But I think this is a good example that someone who had never started software or streaming or like cameras or microphones before, I was able to learn very quickly. And most importantly, just tell my story and share my message with my audience. So I would say a Restream Studio is a great starting point. And especially since you're asking this question from LinkedIn, I'm thinking that you're probably going to stream something professional, maybe for your LinkedIn followers and your professional audience. For that, a Restream is excellent solution because Restream is one of a very few approved partners to stream on LinkedIn Live. There are only five total companies that allow you to do that. LinkedIn doesn't have its own studio, so you have to use an application like Restream. And in terms of quality, in terms of what you get for your subscription, I would say Restream is by far your very best option and the easiest learning curve. Anything to add to this?
I had zero contact with live streaming before coming into Restream. Like the closest thing that I was aware of at the time was that around 2018, 2019, I also had seen some content creators that I followed perhaps start doing more live streams on YouTube Live or maybe Twitch. That was a bit up and coming at the time. So I knew of the essence of it. I didn't really know too much in depth. And the thing for me is that even back then, we're talking like 5 years of product history behind, which is, technically much worse version of what we have right now. It was very easy for me as a new support rep to pick things up and start using the studio. So that obviously the confusing thing for me, because we were learning about other encoders as well to be able to support customers, was when OBS was coming into play or a few more things were coming into play, it was a bit confusing at first. But the studio part always felt like, your regular meeting kind of platform, very straightforward. And of course, after so many iterations at the point it has reached today, I think it's a very, very, user-friendly tool to get started with.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you get stuck, you know who to talk to. We have 24/7 support, and they will be happy to help. I see there's a question about mobile app. Are there any plans for mobile app? I usually tell people that yes, there are plans. Like we are always experimenting and exploring the best ways to allow you to go live and to make it easy and to make it affordable and accessible to everybody. However, is this necessarily on our roadmap in the nearest time? I would probably say no. The main reason is mobile streaming is not a trivial task, right? Like your mobile phone, I'm going to show you mine. It's a pretty small thing, right? Like it doesn't necessarily have a lot of power to run real-time video, high quality audio, and especially interactive elements like chat, maybe some other visuals that you want to show. So while mobile app for live streaming and for high quality live streaming, the standard that Restream would like to put their brand on is possible. It's just not something that we currently are focusing on, and that does require a lot of focus and a lot of manpower and a lot of engineers to make it happen, and most importantly, to make it right. So what I will say though, if you have guests, remote guests who are joining you in studio from their mobile phones, this is actually very doable. So as long as you have a desktop or laptop, anything where you can run your stream as a host, but your guests are kind of limited to mobile, as long as they have decent internet connection, they will probably be pretty successful in terms of joining you and being able to contribute into the conversation. It is kind of like mobile browser experience, so it's not ideal, but it is doable on mobile devices. And as far as a dedicated app, definitely we're looking into that. Please keep submitting that to ideas. I know it's already there for sure, but if you want to upvote it, that will help us to understand that this is still something that you guys are looking forward to see at Restream.
People always have like so many cool ideas. Sometimes, every week or so, I'm reviewing a lot of chats we do a bit of an internal reporting, so we share as much as we can and as much as we see standing out with our development teams as well. And there's always like so much cool stuff in there. I wish we could do it all at once. We take great care, and I can say our product team works very hard to prioritize whatever makes the most sense, whatever is going to give you the best possible experience. Because they also, whenever we're doing product testing internally, they never want to put, the Restream stamp on something that's not perfect. So we're always working very hard to get you the best version of whatever it is that you're asking for. So, just fingers crossed we can get to everything at one point in time. For now, I'm sure we have a lot of fun releases planned still before Christmas time and for beginning of 2026 as well. So, always stay tuned and watch our changelog as well. It's a very cool new entry.
Yeah, let me show you how to find it in here. So Restream, I think Charles and I are
you battled for it,
battling for the caption. Yeah, Restream.io/changelog is the best way to see every update that we make. This is for both products, Studio and Encoder, so OBS. And you can see small changes that we make. We don't make like small bug fixes to changelog, but anything that's new, updated, improved, or recently released is going to be there. You also can keep an eye on our social media. So we do post any major updates on our X, LinkedIn, and YouTube videos produced by our very own Charles are also happening as guides for those features that we feel like you need a little bit extra help to understand how it works and how to accomplish it. So follow us on all of those channels for the latest information, and make sure to check your inbox because our email newsletter happens every month. We stopped sending blasts for every single new feature. We're now kind of combining them into a monthly newsletter, which gives you like a nice little roundup of everything that happened this month. And most of the time it's like our major features and some tutorials, some materials that you could be using to level up your live streaming.
And it went out, I think, the last one a couple of days ago. So if you haven't checked your email, it's a good time to do so.
It's a good time to do so.
There's more in there.
Absolutely. So many more awesome questions here. I'm just going to call out this comment from Steven. I think that comes back to our conversation about the green screen, that recently we also allowed source control for hosts to be able to switch from the wrong camera and mic. This is a pretty amazing feature. So how it works is if you are a host and your guest joins and you see that their microphone or their camera is clearly wrong, you can now remotely access their settings in Restream Studio and change their camera on mic from, let's say, their laptop speaker or their headphones that might not be ideal to a better microphone. Of course, they still have to have that microphone and they still have to have it connected in order for you to access it. But it is something for you to get a little bit extra control and like being able to see what's possible, switch around, test around a little bit. So if your guests are joining a little bit before you start going live, that gives you a lot of opportunity to sound check, visually check, and help them without necessarily asking them to go through a bunch of troubleshooting steps, like sharing a screen or showing the screenshots of what they see.
It's such a small thing, but it's so impactful because one thing that we're always noticing in chats as well is sometimes when those issues come up, we see the host is opening a chat with us and the guest is opening a chat with us, like two different people talking to another set of two different people, just like trying to realize what's happening. And I feel like this is going to be such a game changer for so many producers and hosts. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It's definitely, we were already trying it earlier today.
Yeah,
it was fun to
we literally did, because we have a bunch of microphones here and we're like playing with several different cameras and maybe an extra camera as an extra angle, because we have a small surprise for you in the end. So stick around to the end of the show. And sometimes it's difficult when you are looking at the scenes, trying to think about what you're going to say on the stream, and co-producer, especially if you have one who's behind the scenes and kind of like helping you to moderate, to just be like, okay, don't worry about it, I'll fix it, I'll just change it. So, and he can listen in which microphone actually works better, and then basically make a decision based on what they hear, compared to us trying to guess what's the best option. So this is how it looks right here on the image. It works for both cameras and microphones. So two most critical things that you have on the stream can be now controlled by the host. Good stuff. All right, we are absolutely loving these questions, so keep bringing them on. We just want to make sure that this show is for you. This is live Ask Me Anything with Ellie, head of support at Restream, and I'm Anya. I'm your kind of constant host here at Restream as well. We're hosting from Austin, Texas today, and please keep your questions coming so we can answer as much as possible. Is this even live? Says Alicia. Yes, it is absolutely live. And the best proof of that is that we just took your comment and called you out, which could not be pre-recorded. So it is live. It is going to be available for replay if you are missing parts of that and you want to come back. And we'll also make little clips from this show, and we'll make a little cut down recap.
Very cool thing though, even if you want to do a pre-recorded stream at one point, because you want to do like a product launch, or you want a very perfect thing that's going to air online, you can still interact with your chat even while the pre-recorded stream is live. So you can still respond to comments, you can see what people are saying. You're obviously not on screen and just taking the comment like we did, but you don't need to lose that community interaction even if you want to play something pre-recorded. So upload and stream is another great feature that we have that covers that. So feel free to check it out if you're part of an audience that is interested in that kind of setup.
And I think that right now is the best time for that kind of tool, because the holidays are coming.
Definitely.
And most of us probably do not want to be live during Christmas. And this is the opportunity to pre-record and create content, then launch it to appear as live on social platforms like YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and many others. However, you have two choices then, right? Like you can just stream it live and let it play out, right? And let the community and your viewers interact with each other. Or you can jump in and actually, like Ellie was saying, respond to some comments, but you don't have to be on camera, right? Like you can just be in your slippers under the Christmas tree and like quickly respond to some comments to make it a little bit more interactive and more kind of present. Really good stuff for demos if you really need to record something. So this is very raw and this is very real because we did not necessarily prepare. We don't have a script. We don't have teleprompters. We're just kind of interacting with you as you come in. But for some formats, this is not the best, right? Sometimes you really need polished and structured flow of the conversation. So you can definitely do that with Upload and Stream and still be live. So it's good stuff. I like this question because I think it is kind of like, it's also a nice segue to the next question that I'm going to take. Any chance we'll see any AI-powered layout adjustments and auto-fix bad lighting or framing when guests are joining with poor settings? So one part of the poor settings for guests is, again, the opportunity for your host to control those settings. There's not much you can do in the world of live streaming if the guest is joining with very poor light, with very poor camera, with very, very weak internet. However, there is a trick, which we will cover in just a minute. However, AI-powered layout adjustments is a really cool idea. We are currently looking into the opportunity to bring in AI-powered, like AI-generated backgrounds, because we know that the graphics and the visuals are a big pain point, right? So we are fortunate to have super talented designers who are helping us to create visuals, but we understand that not everyone has necessarily a design powerhouse at their hands. So we are thinking about introducing some AI-powered overlays, layout, and backgrounds to basically help you generate whatever you can think of. That's definitely on our roadmap. In terms of adjusting layouts through AI, kind of like a co-pilot thing, I think it's a great idea, and I think you should definitely submit it on ideas. Let me show you the place one more time. ideas@restream.io. If we don't have anything like that yet, definitely feel free to share it, because I think it makes a lot of sense, right?
Definitely. Like a lot of things I feel like that people are interested right now is not everyone wants generative AI, and by all means, not something that you have to use. Other people are more so interested of how can I use AI to power my workflow and make things simpler for me a bit more. And I think that's what many companies are looking into right now in terms of how do I simplify the steps that people need to take to set something up or to make their production a bit more powerful. So definitely, like even for us sometimes, like we're setting something up and now with placeholders, layouts are a bit more predictable and everything, but at the same time, maybe you don't want to think about it too much. You don't have time to set it up, and something like that could be very, very good for people that are, trying to get something efficient down very quickly.
Yeah, I think it's important to also kind of like pick your path and philosophy, and Restream is definitely in the team of AI is good when it's a tool, right? Like when it's helpful, like computers or typing machines, right? Or cars. It's not necessarily AI for the sake of AI. So we do want to honor the creativity and the ability for our creators to be unique and to create this unique content that is just them, right? So that's why you don't see a lot of generative, avatarish, voice changes, like use any face on your stream type situations, but you see a lot more tools that are just helping you get jobs done, such as AI clips. That's a great opportunity, great example of using AI to just help you edit, right? Like it's your content, it's your face, it's your voice, it's your story and your narrative, but we just help you to pick the best moments, reframe it, edit it, caption it automatically, transcribe it, and then you can reuse that content for vertical formats and to basically like work the top of the funnel to find new viewers and attract new audiences. Similar to this, like, yes, we will definitely have some tools that help you maybe automatically schedule your events, maybe automate how to optimize the layouts for different platforms. Yeah, so this kind of tools are definitely on top of our mind. Another thing that I wanted to add, you mentioned like if your guests are joining in and their connection is not great, the new feature of local recordings is something that we highly recommend you explore, because what local recordings do is if you go live and your guests are on weak internet, they are not necessarily going to look perfect on your live stream because their internet connection during live is still going to be, you know, somewhat a challenge. But if you enable the local recordings toggle, as you can see here on this image, that allows us to record, to basically ask their own devices, their computers, their desktops, to record the conversation, their voice and their audio and their video locally, and then very carefully upload it to Restream. So by the end of your show, maybe a few minutes later, you will have the local recording that was done on the original device, completely independent from the internet, uploaded to you. So for repurposing, you actually have way better quality. And here you can see how it works. So you have like the cloud recording, which is whatever we got through the internet, and then the local recording, whatever we got from the your own or guest device. And that is really a game changer for those who are doing podcasts and repurposing and really need the top quality. And that also unlocks the opportunity to record in 4K, because our browser studio currently allows up to 1080p, which is full HD. But if you have a camera that can record in 4K, local recordings allow you to do that. And then you have that file to work with.
Yeah. And you always have cloud recordings as well running automatically. That doesn't change for you. So it's a lot of backup to make sure that everything is looking the way you want it for your final recording.
Yeah, it's really something that we're trying to constantly innovate and look into balancing, right? Yeah. So your live streaming and your live video is always our priority, but we're adding more and more features and more kind of tools for you to see Restream as kind of like a one-stop shop, one platform where you can do most of the things together. And on that awesome moment, I would like to take the question about what can we expect new in 2026 from you guys. Open roadmap. We don't have like that is primarily that we. Sorry, some commotion in the in the office. That we just constantly listening to the market. We're constantly listening to our creators, and a lot of times we don't have the exact knowledge of what is going to.
YouTube down.
Let's see, we're back. All right, we're back.
Okay.
So
internet people, things happen.
Internet people, things happen. Yeah. So Charles just told us that we're back online.
Good. Perfect.
Hopefully you guys did not lose us. But I honestly want to make this a positive moment, because this shows you what happens if the internet in your office just decides to shut down. And you basically reconnect and you're right back in business as soon as this reconnection happens. So we were very fortunate today that the internet didn't die for hours, and yeah, we're back.
It's also good to share the hug you just did. Like the studio itself it's gonna wait for you. Like, it's not just gonna shut down. You can quickly like refresh the room and just get it working again. So Studio does have a lot of safeguards for even if you just disconnect for a few minutes, it's still just gonna go back up online for you and gonna hold the connection for you. So this is a very big privilege at the same time. So we were happy to be back.
Yeah, we're very happy to be back, and we will be back with answering your questions. So one of the questions where we kind of like
I think they kind of lost us when you were saying that we're listening to the market and the creators.
So the reason why we don't have a roadmap is because it's ever changing and we are constantly listening. So the best way to understand what you guys can expect in 2026 is, again, to go to ideas.restream.io, because that's where we collect a lot of the information and requests from our users. And that's where we can see people upvoting. So things that have a lot of upvotes are most likely to make it to our roadmap, and then there will most likely be shipping first and foremost. I would say that we already kind of teased that on our social media, and that's coming very soon. That's coming this year, is a dual output. So right now you can already use our free plugin to stream in horizontal and vertical at the same time through OBS. You simply need to download it on your Windows or Mac, and then through OBS you can pick 2 different canvases and stream on 2 different formats. You can do YouTube and TikTok, and you can also do multiple formats on the same YouTube, right? You can do vertical YouTube and horizontal.
Maybe not yet, but we're working
on that as well. So that's going to be our next iteration. Another thing that we're working on in the same kind of realm of things is the dual output from Studio. So right now, Studio only allows you to stream in landscape, but very soon you'll be able to switch your canvas in Studio as well. So you will be able to do the same thing without depending on OBS and plugins, which for me is a game changer, because I'm a Studio girl and I'm definitely going to look forward to being able to multicast in 2 different formats.
Yeah,
so that will be really cool. So Leo is asking when third-party overlays. This is something we're definitely looking into. So your question is basically like, are we going to build a marketplace where other creators and designers could submit overlays and like other graphics, so then we can offer that to our creators? I love the idea, absolutely. I think this is the best way to use the talents and the creativity of our community and also empower people who do not necessarily have the design skills to have the best looking visuals and streams. However, building a marketplace is a big job. So the reason why we haven't done that yet is because if we do it, we want to make it right? We want to make it very easy for people to find the creatives. We want to make it very easy for you, the designers and creators, to submit and monetize potentially. So that's a big thing to build. But this is not something that we are completely dismissing. We are looking in that direction. So stay tuned for that, and definitely submit into ideas and upvote if that is something that you would like to do and if that's important for you. All right. So there is a question about Restream being free, or does it need a subscription? It is actually both. You can use Restream for free on up to 2 channels. So if you're streaming on YouTube and Twitch only, and if you're using something like OBS, free version is excellent because we'll aggregate the chat for you. You can stream in any resolution that you want. There are no limitations from OBS. And it's a great solution for gamers because you can stream your gaming content and obviously yourself with the tool and setup that you already have. You don't have to change anything in OBS. But subscriptions exist for people who are interested in more advanced and premium features, such as using Studio in higher resolution. The same local recordings that we mentioned earlier is one of our paid features. And the plans go up to business and enterprise, where you get a lot more in terms of support, in terms of customizations. And speaking of support, I think this is a good time to talk about our dedicated support and like what you get if you go up into enterprise plans in terms of kind of hand-holding and dedicated account management.
So priority, of course, changes quite a bit because, there is also a lot that goes on in the background when working with enterprise customers, and a lot of partnerships as well internally in our company. So we're working very closely with Success. What changes a lot too is that usually you will have a lot more support in preparation of whatever it is that you're working on. We will have information from customer success very often on what your setup is like, what we should anticipate, when is it that you're having a very big stream, what to watch out for during that stream. We very often also have like an open placeholder chat in place with you so that you can follow up before the event starts or during it if something goes unexpected. So there is a lot of an attempt to, also like prevent everything before it ever reaches the point of becoming an issue, and of, just like knowing the customer a lot better to be able to support them in an effective way. And of course, in terms of, priority and urgency, enterprise customers do have a higher level of priority in terms of how those chats get assigned to us and what we look out for. So you should expect a lot of more proactivity on our end and a much closer partnership that I think is very helpful for customers that have high stakes events and they want to feel that confidence and assurance that there is someone by their side, whether it means that it's their customer success manager that's on site on a call with them, or is a customer support rep that is going to be supporting them via chat. And also one big thing is we have senior customer support members directly assigned to enterprise customers. So that's also a big thing. You're going to get someone with a lot of experience with events of your scale and your size.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned the testing and basically preparing for the stream for high stakes events. I cannot emphasize enough how big of a game changer this could be. If you have an event when you are investing potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars into the venue, into promoting, advertising, getting the best speakers, getting the branding, getting everything together, and then that super crucial element of bringing it live to the audiences that cannot be physically in your venue is where you kind of like drop the ball. That is not something that we recommend doing for high stakes events and for like really important conventions, events, demos, conferences. I would say having someone from Restream to actually dry run, test, show up, be on call literally during the whole event and like watching and making sure if there's any minor technical glitch or any minor technical thing, they're jumping in proactively and helping you to resolve it, is that could change the event from being like, okay, the event went well, but the live portion was very stressful, to everything went flawlessly and everyone had peace of mind. And that's a big thing.
We want you to feel confident before you go live. From individual creators to big businesses, that's a very big thing for us because we want you to succeed. So whatever we can do to help with that, we're absolutely going to do it. And the more you give also yourself time to prepare for these kinds of events, like if you know something is happening in a few months, it's not too far away. It's never too early to start. So also we have an amazing sales team and success team that can, you can start those conversations, see what you need for when, figure out those deals together, and then just have a lot of support on the weeks and months leading up to the actual event.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot more questions came in, so we'll try to run through a few more. Any plans to add live captions to live streams? So most platforms already have live captions baked in, and this is the reason why this feature has not been a priority for us just yet. However, also something to submit to ideas if that's important to you. I would say between YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, the captions that already exist there, they do very decent job, and because they are, of course, automated. For some of our enterprise offerings, I think you can upload live captions through like SRT protocol. So there might be some solutions if you're doing something like TV scale professional.
Yeah. Some platforms have some options like YouTube, depending on the latency you select, and some extra settings, they do make it possible. But again, that's also very platform dependent, because if you've been with Restream for a while and you've tried a few platforms, you'd know one very big thing is each platform may treat certain features or settings differently, and that's always going to be a question mark into how we can implement those things best for everybody. But yeah, YouTube is one of those platforms that does have an option for you to send your own captions into the stream.
Yeah, and I do believe that, well, LinkedIn has that option, but I think for already like recorded video, closed captions that you can upload. Yeah, but they also have the automatic ones. Yeah. Great question. So this one is from One Media Detroit. I want to tie 2 or 3 shows that were live, but you only allow 30 minutes in the upload area. Can you send something for longer shows? So the 30 minutes upload limit is related to your plan. If you are on standard plan, your maximum pre-recorded video upload is 30 minutes. But if you go higher, it goes up to 2 hours. That's on business. And if you need more, there is an enterprise solution when you can have pretty much, I wouldn't say unlimited, because hopefully there's no such thing as an unlimited duration
It's
show.
still storage.
It's still storage,
Yeah.
exactly. But you can have many hours of pre-recorded streams, and you can also stitch them into playlists. So you can basically, if you're going business and up, you can upload multi-hour shows as playlists and then set them to go live, and they will basically automatically play one after another. So if that's something you guys do professionally, reach out to our enterprise and they will help you out. I see the question about AI clips. I would love to learn a little bit more about what you mean by half-baked. So the question is, we opted for AI clips and it's half-baked, so how can we make it better? It really depends. I just want to say that AI clips really depend on the type of content you produce, right? If you are doing talk shows, interviews, product demos, launches, where there's a lot of speech, AI clips work like magic. We're using them all the time. If you check out our LinkedIn or X, after every stream we do post one of our favorite highlights. We will definitely do it after this one. And currently we are also working on offering live highlights. So basically you can get little clips and highlights happening while you're still live. Super cool for big events, conferences, like think your Apple events, or sports games, when you want to show like this like super important and exciting moments while the game is still continuing. However, if your content does not have a lot of speech, the AI clips really depend on the transcripts. So if there is nothing for Restream AI to identify as content, as speech, it's going to be a little bit harder for us to understand what are the best points. So if you want to elaborate on that question, we would like to hear it. If you are using clips for podcasts or for like speech-based things and they're not necessarily meeting your standard, the best thing to make them better is to let us know what's wrong, right? Definitely reach out to our support and report any kind of issues that you're experiencing. They go directly to our clips team and they will be able to address them. It could be a bug, it could be a little thing that we can just recommend to change settings, but we're constantly improving them. You are right, the feature is new and we are we're super open to feedback.
Same thing with local recordings, and generally anything you see that's new, some things are just new, some things are new and in beta. So whenever you see something that's catching your eye but it's still fairly recent, we're always keeping an eye out for feedback. So the first few months of something being out is a very good time to share whatever your thoughts are, whatever your experience is, because we're very actively like working on making that better. We don't ship something and just like stop there, like it's out there, whatever it's gonna do. No, we take a lot of care into making sure that we can improve it once it's out too.
Yeah, and there are a few follow-ups here too. I don't think it's related to clips, but they're just questions about multi-streaming, I guess. How can we stream at the same time onto 2 YouTube channels? You can. Yeah. It's very easy, and you simply need to be the owner of both of those channels, and then you add them as your channels, as your destinations. Another way to rebroadcast your events or your streams to other YouTube channel is a feature called pairing. So if someone else, for example, your guest speaker or your panelist, owns a different YouTube channel and you want to send the exact same stream to them, you can share a paired link. So when you invite guests, there is a little toggle there that says share this guest link and allow them to rebroadcast this event. That's another opportunity to basically add an additional YouTube channel that you might not have the rights or the ownership rights to, but you still know that person and you want to rebroadcast that event. And I think we're going to have a quick visual here, right here. Yeah, exactly.
I love those drop-ins.
Yeah, I know.
Suddenly you're moving on the screen and something is happening.
And something is coming, yeah. So this is the paired channels. So when you invite, so basically you just click on the invite guest and then you send them the link to pair. Yeah. But yes, right now, this is what Charles is showing. I finally got it. Yeah, we are right now streaming to 2 YouTube channels. It is my personal.
Oh, it's right now. Wow.
Yeah, it's literally right now. He just did a screenshot.
Yeah.
This is brilliant, Charles. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
And it's also the Restream where a lot of you guys are watching. So 2 YouTube channels at the same time, easy as you can see. And there's also follow-up. Just to clarify, I'm live streaming podcast on one channel at the same. Can the same stream be rebroadcasted simultaneously on another channel? Absolutely. Is it technically possible? This is what Restream does.
I know people sometimes, they worry of like, is some platform gonna detect it as a copyright thing? But
yes.
If you're working with a creator and they're also rebroadcasting that, like that creator isn't gonna flag you for having the same kind of thing going on. So if it's a collaborative stream, many users take advantage of that. And it's also a very popular thing with things like interviews or like when you're having someone on a talk show. It's something many people do, and it's a great way to make sure that you expand your audience as well, because suddenly it's not only your followers that are watching you, it's also the person that you're chatting with and their audience, which could be very diverse and very different one. And then maybe you're getting a few viewers of your own, new fans.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would like to take, oh gosh, there's so many
I want to
great
take
questions.
the one that says, I like your red outfits. Because we coordinated this. So we appreciate the love.
We considered wearing the Santa hats, which we have in abundance in this office. We tried them, and for the sake of, it was a design decision, the beauty decision, we decided to not expose you to that. Oh no.
I'm sorry, the hats are making an appearance.
Here.
Oh God.
Thank you. So we have those hats. We're not going to...
Maybe at the end.
For
like the wrap up, but we do have the Santa hats.
We do have the Santa hats. So we really appreciate that somebody noticed that we thought about it. Yeah. It was a decision for sure. We have questions about what kind of cameras we're using. Currently the setup is we have Canon EOS T8i. So that's basically one of the cameras that we have, like that's a DSLR camera. We connected through Camlink from Elgato, and that goes into our laptop, and then we basically select it from Studio. So the reason why we need Elgato Camlink is to trick the computer to think that this DSLR camera is a web camera, because normally DSLRs do not function like that, but through Camlink you can make any camera look like a web camera. Other than that, we sometimes use our iPhone cameras. Basically, your phone is the best camera that probably you already have, unless you want to invest and upgrade with DSLRs. So it's super easy to connect your phone through Continuity if you're using Mac, or even if you have a Windows computer, or if you have an Android phone. I know that our developer, Sergio,
there are a few workarounds and apps to get that hooked up as well. But like if you're on a MacBook and you also have an iPhone, it's very like built into the system to just have it happen very easily for you.
Exactly, it's super easy. So I would say if you have the opportunity to connect a DSLR camera for the best quality through Camlink, that's our top choice for like pro quality content. But your iPhone is your second best option, and we recommend you use it.
Maybe it's a good chance, now that they're asking about the setup, to just pay a bit of like short homage to the studio room, because I feel like it's something that everyone always like pictures Anya in front of like this background and this entire like technical setup whenever you're watching a live stream. And I was watching a live stream since I joined in 2021, and I always had like Anya in my head, like the face of Restream, and that's always kind of like been the background and everything.
Yeah, this is our studio number 3, I think. So there was our very first studio was literally my desk and the staircase behind it. I think it even made it to some of the articles about Restream early on in 2020. And our coworker Lawson, he was literally behind me, so his desk was right behind mine. And for me to go live, I had to basically kick him out of his desk and just be like, you have to move, you have to like work somewhere else on the couch so I can go live because your desk is behind me. So that was like Studio 1. Studio 2 was in that same building, and we actually created a special space for it. We had a couch behind it and basically this similar setup. So we had professional lights and DSLR at that point. So it elevated the quality, but it was still kind of very scrappy. And then in this new office, we built out this studio. So we had some like nice background and shelves and like professional lights and good audio finally. Fast forward to 2026, which is happening very soon. We are actually rebranding the studio completely. So this is our last time in this specific studio setup. So I don't want to get too emotional about it, but
the new one is going to look great as well.
It's going to look so great.
It's always nice to have some change.
So and hopefully this experience is going to be something that we'll carefully document, and we'll make a lot of content from that. So it will hopefully help you to get inspired how you can transform your studio and what kind of things you need to think about. Also in 2026, to the question what else is coming up, not necessarily in terms of features, but in terms of content, we are going to do a bit more live streams with our designer, Dmitry. So he's going to walk us through some small pro tips of how to make a stream look better with like very simple design decisions. Decluttering, making sure things are aligned, making sure things are like very simple, kind of like monochrome. What kind of things you should avoid, what kind of things you should kind of like pay attention to. Small little tricks that can take your live streams from okay to like really great without too much investment into your gear, your backgrounds, decor, and things like that. So stay tuned for that. That's coming. A little bit extra love for you. The best part is your customer support.
I don't think people understand how heartwarming these messages are, no matter where. Sometimes they post it on social media. Sometimes they leave it as feedback when we're wrapping up the chat and we're sending you a survey to understand what your experience was. Because it's not an easy job. Sometimes it has a sense of urgency. Sometimes you can feel very stressed while doing it, while trying to help someone through a difficult moment. And it's such a great reward for our team to read positive words from all of you whenever you're in touch with them. So we're always very thankful for your nice comments and your positive attitude when you're coming in about an issue, because we know how stressful it can be for you in that given moment. And all we want absolutely is to help you. So thank you for working with us, and thank you for the love always.
This is so important. And I know sometimes we get these comments, like the ones that sting the most, when people are like, oh, Restream Support doesn't care, Restream team doesn't care. Like those are the ones that like hit the hardest. So don't do that. Don't use that against us. We're like giving you a lot of tools right now.
I think, as consumers, us too, like we've seen companies that may feel that way. It's just that when you're coming in, give us a chance, because you will see that no one is there like to antagonize you or to argue with you. We're absolutely there to help you. So like if you're coming in with a willingness to troubleshoot with us, because sometimes, there isn't always like a magic button that you can click and fix everything for you. But if you're willing to tell us what's wrong, to give us a bit of information, to give us some context, because sometimes we needed to troubleshoot, I'm sure we're going to be able to help you.
And just to give you a little behind the scenes, so Ellie's head of support, and I see her in chats, like looking at the specific chats, jumping in, making notes for support reps, reviewing the conversations all the time. I'm director of marketing, and I am in our intercom, in our chats weekly. Like every week I go through, if we launched a feature, and if we send some kind of information in product, I will go back and read the conversations that customers had with our support to make sure if there was any kind of misalignment in messaging, if there was any kind of misunderstanding, if some things are still not clicking and we need to make more educational content, if we need to change in product messaging and just rename the button so it's more clear. Yeah. Like this is literally something that I do every day. And to the point that even when we have holidays, vacations, whatever, Black Friday, sales that we used to run in the past, we do stay in touch and like constantly watch and constantly try to basically empower our support representatives to make the right decision. And the main logic that we have when we're making this decision is how to make it right for you, how to make sure you're happy, how to make sure you're successful in your live streams, and how you look the best. And how you can show up with confidence and happiness to your audience and viewers. Like that's literally the first things that come to our mind. And this is not just a job for us. Like at least for the two of us, this is kind of our identity.
Maybe we're too invested sometimes.
Maybe we're too invested, but we are really, we feel that as part of our identity, and it's part of our mission, versus just something that we do, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, however you want to call it. So yeah, this support that we provide is really a labor of love, and hopefully you can feel it at least sometimes. That was a TMI, too much information, but like a really important share. We'll take a few more questions before we wrap up. This is a good one. For remote camera and mic control, does the host need explicit permission from the guest, or is it just automatically granted when they join the studio? Curious how you handle consent control on the guest side. Do you want to take this one?
Yeah, sure. And I also invite you to check this even with yourself. Like sometimes when I'm testing things for guests, I will open my studio, the invite link in an incognito window, just to try it out for myself and see what the experience will be for my guests. That's very helpful for hosts, I feel. So what we do right now is you're going to be able to select something from their settings, but they're going to be seeing a prompt on their screen that's going to say that, hey, your host is trying to set up this camera, use this microphone for you, and they will have an option to click allow. So you will not be able to bypass their consent when they're first seeing that notification. You're going to be clicking allowed to allow you to change their setting. Once they do that, you can continue making those adjustments without them having to confirm them every single time. However, that's also something that we're still taking feedback about. If you feel like there should be this allow option every single time you're making a change, let us know. That's one thing I think our product team was interested in learning more about. But for now, it's the first time that they're not caught off guard that, oh, why can the host do that? You will absolutely, they'll see notification, they can approve it, and then you can continue helping them through the rest of their options, but that's the experience on their side.
Yeah, so we're trying to make a nice balance between host, the guest still has to give you permission.
Yeah.
So you do not accidentally change something that they did not want you to have access to. But at the same time, we make it like a one-click decision. And once it's decided, then we don't ask continuously. Good stuff. I would love to take this one real quick, and I hope you know the answer because I have an idea. But how many paired links can you share? So the link is one, right?
Yeah.
It's only one link that you send as an invitation to be your guest. How many channels can you pair through that link? I believe it is 10 per.
So depending on the setting, your guest, when you're sharing it and they don't have a Restream account, they're just here for the first time, they automatically through that invite link get the option to add up to 3 channels for free. If, however, you're working with someone that already has a Restream account, it's another like Restreamer, and you guys are doing a show together. If they already have a plan of their own, that plan, so if they have like access to 5 channels, 8 channels, it's also gonna go through. The maximum that we have set up, I feel like, is a loose limit of about 10 channels per guest with a maximum of about 10 guests. So about 100 channels total limit for the stream as paired channels.
Yeah.
But usually I don't think people go that high.
No one
thing
ever
is,
broke
if
that
you
record.
have a no Restream account kind of person, they're gonna get 3 for free. If you have someone that already has their own paid plan, their own limits will apply, so they will get even more than that.
Yeah, so I would say on average we see around 10 channels typically paired. And again, remember, it's one link. You're sending it to however many guests you want. And those guests on free plans get 3 channels, and those guests on paid plans get however many channels they are paying for. Great question. Thank you. I see, so there's another question here. I didn't really read it, so hopefully it's a good one.
Green room
Green
vibes.
room. When will you make it possible to run audio and video behind full screen on a panel? Not forced to be capped on a small screen in the corner without using OBS.
Oh, no, not
Maybe
green
that's not
room
a green
question.
room question. So
You can with the new option background with audio. So like when you're, right now there is a new option in your sources under the sources menu. So where you see like the little 2 bubbles of yourself on the side panel, if you click on that, you will have an option for yourself as a participant or for a guest as a participant. You can full screen some kind of like media element, maybe a presentation, maybe a shared screen, and then only keep the audio available for that participant and not their video. So that is an option right now. Perhaps that's not something you've explored yet. I think we can also share moderation. Please share the link to the Help Center article in the channel. That would be very helpful, I think, but definitely something that you can do at this time if we're getting the question right.
Yeah, and feel free to elaborate, and again, help button if you want to really walk through this on your specific account. We can definitely help you through it and help you set this up. This question, I love people who are streaming outdoor stuff. New user, want to live stream my fishing trips. This is exciting. To multiple platforms, would it be best if to use the video on my phone, vertical or landscape? So I'm going to make an assumption that your fishing trips are happening in places where you don't have great internet. Yeah. Maybe you have. In that case, it doesn't really matter. You
Middle of the lake, great Wi-Fi.
Middle of the lake, great Wi-Fi. You're in luck. So you can actually do whichever option you prefer. So as we mentioned earlier, we don't have a mobile app. So mobile experience is basically your browser. But you can totally do it. You can start your studio stream. You can do it in vertical or landscape. We have 2 orientations in studio that you can choose from. So as of today, it's going to be one or the other. Very soon, we will be offering dual. However, probably not from the mobile and probably not immediately. And again, just think about your internet connection being one of the main kind of like drivers of what kind of quality you're going to get. I do have a workaround for people who want to stream this kind of adventurous things, and I actually tested it myself because I love hiking, and most of the time, places where I hike have 0 internet. Yeah. The things that work for me the most and the best would be to film videos on my phone while I'm hiking. And then once I get to a place with internet, I could basically I could stitch them together in a playlist and stream them as upload and stream. So pre-recorded video coming live. So for most of the time, the experience of being in those places is more valuable than sending and broadcasting it right at that moment. So for me, that was the best workaround of basically filming it on my phone, then creating a pre-recorded stream and sending it live a few hours later.
And for the aspect where it says like vertical or landscape, I think I would say from my experience, it's much easier for mobile platforms to adjust to a landscape stream than it would be for a desktop first platform to display a vertical stream. So in your case, for now, I would recommend starting with a landscape stream. And then when we have dual output in studio as well, it would be a great time to experiment with both. But for now, it's going to be, if you do landscape, we're going to auto scale it for your Instagram channel, for example. So it's going to still show up in a nice way.
Yeah.
So I would say landscape to start with.
That's a good tip. I think I am going to maybe get a few questions with Love.
Ooh, wrestling shows.
I use Restream for my wrestling shows. Very helpful. This is so cool. Tell us more about it. What kind of show and what kind of features do you use? Do you use Studio or OBS? It's always good to know. Thank you for the good info. That's always great to hear. And this one, another little love. Thank you, Restream. It's definitely been a game changer. This makes our day. This is the most important things that we can possibly imagine, and this is so good to hear. Thank you so much for your kind words. I think this is about time to wrap this up. So we are going to go ahead and so if you have more questions, just to give you like a little housekeeping. If you have more questions for us, you are welcome to leave them in the comments. So this is a live chat. On YouTube, unfortunately, it disappears and it doesn't allow us to come back and respond to it after the stream is over.
But it has comments on the live replay available at the bottom as a regular video.
Exactly. So you have comments for this video, and if you still have questions that you would like Ellie and me to answer, please don't hesitate to comment, and we will actually come back today and look at them, because for me this is the most exciting part. After the stream is over, I like to see the comments, and both Ellie and I usually do a little digest of like what kind of things people brought up, what kind of feature requests and conversations we had, because it really helps to feed that back into our product team. On top of that, we will definitely do little clips out of this. So clips is another opportunity for you to kind of see how they work and also comment and ask questions that were covered in that clip. In addition, if you are on LinkedIn or Facebook, those comments will stay there. So we'll come back and respond. So please continue submitting your questions. And if there's something super specific to your account or your setup, please click that help button and let Ellie's team take care of you and help you out today. And as we go to our next scene, this is going to be a wrap. So I would like to really thank our moderators who were in YouTube today, answering questions, dropping the links, helping us out. And today we actually have a few of our support team representatives and our
customer success,
maybe
and also ex-customer support.
Anyone who wants, we would like for you to come in and join us right now and wave and say hello to our viewers. And Charles, please come too, because I know you didn't want to.
Everybody.
Come on, everybody.
Office opportunity.
Let's have this party. All right, let's play the music.
We're all here. That's so cheesy. Are we muted? I can still hear us.